Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm with my good friend Toby. We're going to be talking life in general. I think we've both had some key life events over the last few months, a year.
Oh yeah.
So we're going to dive into that later on. But first, I want to start where it all started for us. So we've known each other for about how long? 6 years?
2017?
Yeah, so that's about 6 years. And
you were 16, I was
18.
18 just turned.
Yeah, and we both started at Loughborough College.
Oh, the good old days.
We both studied sport together for 2 years, and then became good friends, both into football. We both started a part-time job together working at Loughborough University, and then after college you went off to university.
Yeah, I went all the way down to Southampton. Had enough of him, so
yeah. Can't blame you for that. Get out of Loughborough as well.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So your time at university, why did you go down to Southampton at first? I always wondered about that.
I'd say mainly was just to like get out of the bubble.
Yeah.
So like not being like stuck just in Loughborough. Because obviously we went to college in Loughborough, we worked in Loughborough, like we just never leave. And I just wanted to get out and experience, like go to, I want to say like experience a different culture.
Yeah.
But like, because it's like the same country and everything, so like everything's going to be mostly the same. But just like meeting new people and like being independent.
Yeah.
Like especially being like so far away, so it's like 3.5 hours by car and I think it was like 5 hours by train. So I couldn't just like go home if like whenever I wanted to, like if something like something went wrong, I had to figure it out on my own.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't just be like, I'm just gonna go home and like do my washing there or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I could be on my own, be a lot more independent. It's like, because obviously I didn't go till I was 20, and I feel like
quite old.
Yeah, but I feel like that was quite good because it meant I had like life experience a bit before going, so I could look after myself. Like I could make dinner myself. It wouldn't just be pesto pasta every night.
Yeah,
like it
that's a standard uni dish. Isn't it?
Yeah, like it wouldn't be the same meals every night. Like I had an understanding of how to look after like my money and stuff when I was there, and just general living. Yeah.
So you studied, was it sports coaching at university, or science?
So it was football studies. That was the official course title, but a lot of it was like a crossover with a lot of other different sports and sport courses. So it was like biomechanics, psychology, sociology, and coaching. Like they were like the 4 main modules really in that topics.
Yeah.
But it was in like a football context, a lot of it, but quite a lot of it as well where it was like it easily cross over into other sports, especially like the psychology side of it and like the biomechanics side of it. It like cross over into other sports like rugby and basketball, tennis, pretty much anything really. So I feel like that was quite good in terms of do I think it was worth it?
That's what I was just asking. Do you think university is worth it? That's a big question.
I mean, it has its pros and cons. So I stuck it out for the whole 3 years, even though I was close to dropping out halfway through my second year.
I think everyone has that moment, don't they?
Yeah, because my second year was like during COVID, and I didn't go in to uni once. Even though I'm supposed to, it's a practical course, I didn't go in once at all. And I came home end of, so it was like for Christmas time, that Christmas break time, and I was just there doing my work in like the living room or whatever, and I was just like, this is shit. I was like, this is shit. I've not been in a single point, and like, because it was still like in and out of lockdown the whole time. Like this, like, even though like we was like me and my housemates were still like having a good time and like being social and stuff, but it wasn't we couldn't actually go out into like go to the pub, or we had to like be around someone's house, which obviously during COVID technically we weren't allowed to do. But let's be honest, I think most people did.
Of course.
Like, not everyone stuck to the rules all the time, especially when you're cooped up. But I feel like, it's just for the social side and like the friends you make, it's definitely worth it, and like the life experiences you get out of it. But the degree itself, it's only worth it if it then puts you on to whatever you're doing next. So whether it might be a law degree, because then you can go on to go to like law school, like be a paralegal, or then like be an actual lawyer, or like a medical course, like those like important courses like that then lead on to another course that you have to do. Whereas me, I definitely didn't need to do my course. So, no, I'd say like doing the course wasn't worth it, but for everything else, like the social side, making new friends, and just being independent and learning to live on your own, definitely worth it. Especially as you get older and leave uni, when you eventually like move out on your own, because then you know how things work. Like you know how to, like, as stupid as it sounds, like, to work the washing machine.
Well, yeah, because a lot of people, including myself, still don't know how to do that.
Shock.
But yeah, I think for a lot of people, like you say, the social side and living on your own and having a new life experience, and I think what you did to go so far away from home to a completely new surrounding and somewhat different culture is definitely a good thing for a lot of people. And I think a lot of people definitely need that change, especially if like you and like probably me too have kind of lived around like the same small town. You'd see the same people, it's all the same. So I think it's really good to just get out of that bubble. And like a lot of people know on this channel, I went to uni, but I didn't have the experience because I kind of lived at home for most of the time. And if I make it quite clear that I don't think uni is good for a lot of people, as you say, because I don't think you need it for the whatever you want to do. I don't think a lot of people actually need their degree to get to where they want to be. But I think for like that, so if you're going to go to uni and you're like, okay, I'm probably not going to need this degree for the actual education, but I want the social side, I want to get out of my comfort zone, then I completely understand why people to do that. And I definitely think it's good to go somewhere quite far away for you, Southampton. Yeah. Because a lot of people like go to Nottingham for me when we live in Leicestershire, which for context is like half an hour away. It's just pointless.
Yeah, really. So like that was like another reason, like, because like a lot of our friends from like college and stuff, they went like to unis around here, so it would be like either Nottingham, Birmingham, or like Sheffield or whatever.
And
it's basically like, in the grand scheme of things, it's basically around the corner from where we live.
It is, and you probably, especially like Nottingham, people know Nottingham. You've been there for like nights out, and you know it. Yeah, it's basically like your town.
Like you've been there before. Yeah, like you know what it's about. So it's not nothing different. No. The only thing different about it would be like just living there. That's the only thing that would be different. Like the nightlife, like you know everything about it anyway. So it just that's why I wanted to go so far away, because it's just something different.
Yeah, I can imagine. And when I came down to see you down there, it felt very. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels very different around here. Just the people, and I don't know. It does kind of feel like you are at a different country. Yeah, somewhat. It's like definitely like a different mix of people. Yeah, it's like obviously being down south, you get a lot of people from like London, like Surrey, and like Dorset and those like types of places, all down south, and like being from like the Midlands and seeing more people from like up north than we do down south. Like it's just like seeing like different ways of like thinking and living and stuff, especially and like different like mindsets as well. Yeah, cause it's very different. I remember I went to Newquay, which is near Cornwall in the UK, and that felt. I said to my sister when we were there, that felt like a different country. Just cause the way people dressed and the way they spoke, and like you say, the mindset.
100%. Like especially like so different. Especially like in the first like couple months, so like from like September to like Christmas time, like coming back, it was definitely, it was so much different than what like I'm used to. Like in terms of like, yeah, like just how people are, not how people speak, and just how they live their lives and like their mindsets and stuff. They're like so different compared to ours.
Yeah, you can definitely notice that. So you finished uni in, was it the summer of 22? Was it?
Yeah, last summer.
22, and then you came back from there, and then what happened after that?
So came back end of June. End of June. So I finished. Uni. It was. I handed my dissertation in first week of May, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was like the first week of May. And I was like, we had our house until like the end of June. So I was like, obviously, gonna stay, make the most of it.
As well, yeah.
I still got like a month's rent to pay. It's like 500 quid. So I was like, I'm definitely...
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, so
People
I was like,
don't realise this.
Yeah, so I was like, I'll definitely stay in, make the most of it. Came back, started working back at the uni, like doing like Loughborough's like graduation and like their sporting events and all that. Did that for a couple months, like two and a half months, I think it was. And then I had a job interview down in Brighton. I think it was the 15th. Yeah, 15th of August. And my partner at the time, which is a whole other story within itself. My interview was at Brighton Football Club's training ground, and she lived where the training ground is. So I stayed around hers. It was only supposed to be like 2 or 3 nights. Now I was supposed to come back. Ended up the like train strikes and everything just ruined that completely. And then ended up staying from like the Sunday to the Sunday. So I ended up staying for like the full week. But on the Saturday, while I was stuck down there like 5 hours away from home, on the Saturday, the day before I left hers, ended up breaking up, which was awkward.
Yeah,
and it wasn't even during the daytime, which I could have actually got the train home. Like theoretically, I could have got the train home if it was like during the day. No, it was like nighttime. It had gone past 7, so I was just like, this is the most awkward. I was like, well, I don't know where I'm supposed to go now. like a hotel's expensive.
Yeah.
I was like, she was like, so ended up staying around hers, and then luckily one of my friends from uni, he lives about an hour away from where it is, and thank God he came down. I rang him on the Saturday night, and was like, oh, he never guessed what happened, and somehow. For some reason, that was his first thing that I went to. He was like, you and Jess broke up, didn't you? And I was just like, how did you know that? And he was like, oh, I don't know. There's no reason you'd be ringing me at like this late on a Saturday for any other reason, really. And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, you still at hers? I was like, yeah. Like, I'm still here. And he's like, right, I'll come and get. He's like, oh, when you there till, actually? I was like, oh, I'm going home Monday. And he was like, right, I'm coming to get you in the morning. So he drove like an hour from his house, came and got me the Sunday, then stopped at his on the Sunday, went home on the Monday from his house. And then got home on Monday, stopped at my grandparents on the Monday night. Well, I was planning on stopping there for a few nights, because I'll circle back to that. And then on the Tuesday night, got I think my sister phoned. I think she phoned my nonna and granddad, saying, we've gone round to Mum's house, because no one can get hold of her or anything. Because on WhatsApp, it said that she was last active like 24 hours before, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So my sister was like, oh, she was stopping at her boyfriend's. So her boyfriend's stepdad took him to the house to see if she was alright. No, door was locked, like couldn't get in or anything, but the back door was open because we knew that because the dog was out, like was barking at my sister. So like, because there was someone there, so the dog was barking. So we knew that someone must be in. Still nothing. And then my sister was asked my non and granddad, "Do you think I should call the police?" So it was like if you can't get in, and like concern for like welfare or whatever, then police went in and found her. She'd died, which was kind of a shock, but at the same time not a shock, because it was ruled a suicide, which that's why it wasn't that much of a shock. If it was natural causes, it would have been more of a what, like really, like that's just a bit weird. But so a few days before, on the Friday while I was still down in Brighton, so we had like a family like group chat or whatever. My mum put a message in there, like kicking off about something that had happened, because something to do with my brother and sister, like not helping around the house, like that type of shit. Like, but bear in mind, my brother's only 14 and my sister's she turned 18 in October last year. So like at some point, like they can be excused a bit, obviously, like, because no one will have my kids. I don't want to fucking do it around the house. I mean, I don't want to do that now. I'm 23. I don't want to do that now. I can't be arsed.
No, I'm the same still.
Yeah.
Still adapting to that.
Yeah, like, I can't be arsed to do that now. Like kicking off. So I was like, I rang my mum and was like, what's going on, basically. Because obviously I've not been there for like a week, so I don't know what's kicked off. I'm like completely out of the loop. I don't know what's gone on. And then she was basically saying like all this stuff, like no one helps her and all this stuff. And we think, because as well, I think she was going through menopause at the time. She just turned 40 like 10 days like in May, and like because her birthday is the 12th of May, so it's like 9 days before mine. So I think she was like going through that as well, which definitely didn't help anything. Because she also suffered from like multiple mental health issues like depression, anxiety, like pretty sure she was bipolar as well, like insomnia, like as well as like physical disability. So like she was a hairdresser for about 20 years. It was about 20 years or so. Like working for someone when she first started doing it, and as well as having like her own businesses, like a salon and like a mobile hairdressing. She did that for 20 years. So, but unfortunately, like she got arthritis in like her hands and like her feet and stuff. So, like when you're primarily working with your hands,
it's not the easiest.
You're gonna have like as soon as
a bit downhill.
You're gonna have to pack that in. But and then because in 2020, the first lockdown, she tried it then as well.
Right.
Which was 10 days after my birthday. And in that situation, I was the one that actually like intervened and stopped it. Because it was only me and my brother in the house, as well as a dog, but dog don't really count. Like I just heard like there was like a smashing or something. So my mum's boyfriend at the time, he was in the house, because her and my sister had an argument over something stupid, like, because she was 16 when this one happened. Like, it's over something dumb. It was just like my sister basically felt like she was always getting picked on, like, whenever something wasn't done.
Yeah.
Or like,
typical.
yeah,
Just
like,
in the house between the family.
yeah,
typical
like just something, because she was at a boyfriend's, and my mum had asked her, "Oh, like when you coming home?" And my sister was like, "Oh, like I don't know," and basically like said like, "Oh, I don't want to. I don't like it when I come home," and all of that. And my mum took it in a way that she was being called a shit mum.
Yeah, I can understand. It's not very nice to hear that from your own daughter.
Oh no, I can't imagine it is. Yeah, and then so yeah, my mum just kicked off basically. And my brother was downstairs, and he comes upstairs because I'm upstairs I must be on the Xbox or something. I think I was.
As usual.
Yeah. Well, what else was there to do in lockdown? Realistically.
Yeah, you're
like
right.
it was night time. I was like, I'm playing Xbox with the boys, bit of Warzone, bit of GTA.
That was about as good as it got, really.
That's when life peaked.
Yeah, you could say.
Yeah, and he comes upstairs and it's like, oh, like mum's like smashing like plates and shit like in the kitchen floor.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I couldn't actually hear it because I had my headphones in, so I couldn't hear it. I was like you know when it takes a few seconds when someone tells something to you and you're just like, what? Like you're just so confused.
Yeah,
I was like,
of course.
Because I didn't know that they had this argument or anything until after the fact. I didn't know any of that had happened. So I was just like, what the fuck is going on? So I go downstairs, yeah, and sure enough there's like broken plates and glasses and shit on the floor, and I was just like, what the fuck is going on? So I was like, right, clearly she's fucking gone, no, her head's gone. So I was like, I've got to spanning brush, started like cleaning it up, and then while I was cleaning it, I noticed, because she's insomniac, so like she took like sleeping tablets and stuff. Not every night, bear in mind, it was only like 2 or 3 times a week. And I'd noticed like, and when she has them, she like you get a bit drowsy obviously when they start to take effect. That's when you know to go to bed. But I've noticed that she was like a bit like drowsy and a bit like wobbly and stuff. So I assumed that she added sleeping tablets and was going to go to bed. But while I was cleaning, all this stuff up off the floor, I noticed there was a load of like empty like tablet packets like on the side.
Yeah.
And I was just like, but she was like, what she'd do like quite often would just like leave it on the side, like anyway. And I don't know, I didn't know if that was just like an accumulation of like over the last couple of weeks or whatever. But I asked her, I was like, have you had all these now? And she said, yeah. And I was just like, that's when it like took like the turn, like to something quite like serious. And I was just like, right, shit, okay. I was like, fuck, okay, right. So I like rang my nonna. I was just like, so mum's done this, she's taken these, I don't know what to do basically. And my nonna was like, look, if you're like, if you're concerned that something's going to happen, like ring an ambulance. So I did. Ran the ambulance. They came after like 10 minutes. And while I was on the phone to the person on the other side, before the ambulance came up, I found a note that she'd written. So it was like premeditated. Like she didn't just go, no, I'm just going to have them and that was it.
It was
like she definitely, she must have thought about it at some point. Because the note was like, sorry, I think it was, I can't remember if that verbatim, but it was like, sorry I couldn't be the mum that you always wanted, or something along those lines.
That's quite a deep thing to say, isn't it?
Yeah, it was like something along those lines, and yeah, she went into hospital, came back out. Well, 12 hours after she got admitted, she went into an induced coma, because that's when like the tablets and all that start to like take effect and all that. So she got put in an in an induced coma. That was only for like a day or so until like the tablets like got out of system and all that. And she was in hospital for about 5 days, and then came back like doing the whole like apologising and like, I'll never do that to you again and all that shit. That was the first time that she'd promised not to do out stupid like that again. And then obviously fast forward to last summer.
It happened again, but with a lot more severe consequences.
Yeah, basically.
On everyone in your family.
Yeah, so that Friday, like like 2-3 days before it happened. So when I rang her on that Friday asking what had happened and all that, I was just like, don't do anything stupid, like don't do it stupid, like she was like, she promised me that she wouldn't, all of that, and then she went and did it anyway. So
and when she did that, especially after she just told you that, how did you feel?
Immediately when we got the phone call like saying that my sister had heard him say that there's a deceased female in the house, I don't really think I felt anything.
Just shock, I guess.
Not even shock, because I don't want to say I knew it was going to happen,
but
because that's not the right way to say it.
In the back of your mind.
Oh, ever since like the first one, it's always been.
It's gonna be, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always been in the back of my mind that it's more than likely probably going to happen again
at some point.
Yeah,
and with severe consequences this time.
Oh yeah, like this time there was no one there to stop her. Yeah, basically. I'd say immediately. I wouldn't really say. I don't want to say I didn't feel anything, but maybe that was the shock. But at the same time, I was just kind of well, it's finally happened. Like, as harsh as it sounds.
Does sound very harsh to like someone listening, I'm sure.
Yeah.
To say that like about your mum, but I get what you're saying, that it didn't come as a surprise in any way.
I think that's like the best way to say it, like, because it wasn't a surprise. Like, I wasn't shocked by it. Like, I wasn't shocked by it.
No.
Was that part of why I just didn't really feel that much about it, because like if I was feeling any like type of way about it, like really upset, I wouldn't have. So the day after that we was at the police station, because everyone that had come into contact with her over the last 24 hours had to like take a statement at the police station. So we was at the police station from, I want to say, just gone 11 at night to about 5 o'clock in the morning, because there was about 6 or 7 of us that needed to take statements, and that was on the Wednesday morning technically, but that Wednesday like lunchtime I was supposed to go on a train back down to London to stop at a friend's house, because I was going to Reading Festival.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And part of me, because I wasn't, like, when we was in the car park at the police station with like family there and everything, I was like, well, I can't go now, like, because it's just, even though I still wanted to go, I was still more than happy to go. Like,
it's a very difficult thing to do, but I can completely understand why you went.
Yeah.
And I think it probably is something you kind of needed to do. Like, do something that kind of does take you away from, I guess, reality of the situation, especially when it's like so sudden. I think the worst thing anyone could do is just spend that time in solitude and being on their own, and that's when it's going to start hitting you.
That's the thing. Like, that was like part of my reasoning. Is like, I'm either going to go to Reading and have a good time with my mates, have a laugh. We've been looking forward to this for months. Like, we bought the tickets in like January or whenever they came out. So we're going for like the full week, like the full camping, like the whole lot. And I was like, like my non and granddad and everything said this as well. It was like, there's nothing we can do now. Like, it's done.
Yeah.
It's like, all we're gonna do is sit in the house, like feeling sorry for ourselves. Like, it's just gonna be shit. Like, it's just gonna be, the house is just gonna be in a shit mood. Like, there's no point wasting your money and not going, and you've been looking forward to it for so long. Like, and I think another thing that helped while I was there. So one of my housemates, he lost his dad when he was 17, due to cancer. So like, he was like talking to me about it and stuff, and it was weird because the first time I cried about it wasn't until the Sunday night when I was listening to the fucking 1975 of all fucking bands, right? Yeah, and it's weird because we weren't even talking about it. Like, we were just on about, like, now we've finished uni and everything, like the next part, like the next big milestones in our lives will be like getting married, like having a kid, like those types of things.
Yeah, of course. That is.
And I don't know, it just made me realise, like, she's not gonna be there for any of it. Like, she's missed out on so much because she's just made that one decision to do what she did.
Yeah, that must
and
be...
it does harbour, like, definitely angry feelings towards her and like resentment. I wouldn't say it's anger towards her as a person, because that's just unfair, I feel like, on her for everything good that she did. Being a single mum for so long, having me so young, being a single mum for so long, like, but it's more of the fact that she thought that was the only way. And it's like, it's the fact that we don't know why she never, like, she'd left a note, but the only thing on it was said that please contact, and it was my name and my phone number. That's all that was left. So we don't know, and I feel like that's what angers me. That's why I'm still angry about it. And
you'll never know, which is exactly the hardest thing, and that's why have to live with that.
Oh yeah.
And
there's like not a day that goes by I don't think about it.
You can't not. It's with you for life. Something like that, losing your mother, your father, someone close to you in your family. That is, especially at a young age, that is something that's stuck with you for life. Especially in the way that it happened, her committing suicide. Like, it's just something that a young child should never have to go through.
No.
And we've both like mentioned how we think that committing suicide is quite a selfish thing to do.
Yeah, it is selfish.
Which a lot of people might find like very controversial to say.
But I feel like unless you've been affected by it, you won't understand why someone might think it is selfish.
Yeah.
Because for the like I said, my brother's only 14. He's like now. Luckily, he's got his dad in his life, whereas so I don't have my dad in my life, and my sister doesn't have her dad in her life anymore. Anyway, I never had mine in my life, so that doesn't really bother. I'm not bothered by that. But like, he's like me and my sister now. Really, like, especially me, like, I don't have any parents now. Like, having never met my like biological dad or anything, like, so now, like, she's gone, I don't have any parents really. Like, legally, yes, but in real life,
you may as well not.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't know them and you're not going to spend time with them,
yeah,
you may as well not be there.
Yeah, my sister hasn't spoken to her dad in, I want to say, not like spoken to him properly anyway. Like, stopped seeing him and everything. I want to say it was when we was at college, so it's definitely 2019 or before.
Right.
So we're going on like 4 years, I reckon.
Yeah, that's a long time, especially growing up and some of your most important years.
Yeah, because
parents should be there.
Yeah, she was only 14, 15 when she started speaking to her dad. So like, really, she's not really got anyone now. Like, it's just like my grandparents and my uncle and his wife and stuff. It's like, because we're not like, we are like a big family, but we don't. But like the immediate family, it's just like me, me, my brother, sister, my uncle and his wife, and my grandparents. Really, like they're the ones that we see like on a regular basis.
And yeah, I think that's the thing. You can never your immediate family, like your mum, your dad, and like sisters, brothers, who any of those type of immediate family, you can never replace them.
No.
So for me, with my I've not got an amazing relationship with my dad. We're never been that close, especially growing up. Better now. And then my mum was very ill and still is very ill. And me and my sister have always thought, well, we've heard people say to us that, oh yeah, but you've got cousins and other members of the family. But I'm like, yeah, but we don't have a mum and dad, and they've all got their own mum and dad, and they're kind of in like their own bubble, which is it's not like we feel bitter, and that's just how it should be. Of course you should have that, but we can never replace, you're never going to replace that, and especially at a young age it feels like you really miss out on a lot growing up, not having that kind of. And I think like you say, when that moment it hit you, when you're like, they're not going to see you be married and have kids. I think that is something that's crossed my mind multiple times, and it's something that would be it just make me really sad to think that like, oh, my mum, there's chances are she won't be there to see those moments, and that's like one of the hardest things to kind of live come to terms with,
because it's something that you do have to come to terms with.
Because like even you say, you can't bring that person back.
Like even if like your parents or whoever your guardians aren't like ill, you never know.
No,
like you never know what could happen. Tomorrow isn't promised at the end of the day. Like there's no guarantee you're going to wake up tomorrow morning.
No, and I think like we both realised that over the last year with our life events, that nothing is guaranteed, and life can just change like that. Like one month.
Your whole
like you
world.
say, you were at an interview in Brighton, and then a week later your mum's dead. Like that's how quickly life can change.
Like my mum's dead and I'm technically homeless.
Exactly.
Like if I didn't have my grandparents like be able to like take me in, I'd have been fucked.
And
like I would have been staying on mates' sofas, and because having just finished uni, I didn't have the money to move out. I definitely didn't have the money to move out.
And like there'll be a lot of people. I'm sure there's people out there who have been in a similar situation to you, and they don't even have like grandparents or someone close.
Like I know I'm very aware of how lucky I've got. How unlucky and unlucky it is at the same
thing.
time.
Obviously, you have to be grateful for what you have.
100%.
But obviously, in the grand schemes of things, but compared to a lot of people, it's very difficult.
100%. Like, I'm definitely lucky in like the fact that I've managed to land on my feet a little bit with having somewhere to live. Where other people that are in this situation or have gone through it, like. They haven't always they might not have had that. They just being out on the arse basically.
Nothing.
No
money, no family, nowhere to even call home.
100%. Like no one to like speak to about it, or like I'm lucky in like the fact that I could see like a lot of our friends like we worked with and stuff like that. So I was able to like go into work and be social a lot of the time. Not even talking about what happened, but just being around your mates in general, and just being like still having that social, like not becoming like a recluse. Because I feel like you can go one of two ways when like, especially with grief, you can go one of two ways. You can either completely shut yourself off from the world, or you just explode like you're wanting to go out all the time. I feel like people go one of two ways. Because especially like with the social side, like it's definitely like a distraction or like a coping mechanism. Because I did that with work, so like when it happened, I was at work nearly every day, like for like 10 hours every day for at least a month and a half, 2 months, and it got to a point where I was just like, I'm like so mentally and physically burnt out from just constantly being out and I wasn't taking time to just chill out, like just to chill and calm down.
Yeah.
I was always like going into work or wanting to do something just to keep my mind occupied.
Yeah. I think a lot of people will probably choose. I would say that if you're going to choose between the two of being on your own or being very social, it's obviously a lot better to be very sociable,
but don't
overdo it.
But don't forget to look after yourself first. Like, always make sure that you're in the right frame of mind to go out as well.
Because, like you say, if you do that and you're like so used to being with people for so long, and then maybe there's one day where you're not at work or you're not with people, then that could like hit you like a rock.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, so like when I took like a couple of weeks off work, like I didn't really do anything. I went out to to shops and stuff, but when I say I didn't go out, I mean like I didn't really go out and see people. Like go out to like the pub or just in a socials like for food or anything like that. I just kind of like took a couple of weeks, just stayed at home, just like playing like a game, playing a game or just watching films, like TV shows that you like. Just like time to like decompress yourself and just to think and to think about it, because it's good to think about it as well.
It is.
As much as shit as it might make you feel, you have to think about it to process what's happened. And that's what I feel like I didn't really do for the first couple months. Like I didn't really take on board what happened. Like I knew it had happened, taken it in, got it, but like I've not really the severity of it, I don't say probably hit me.
No.
Of like this is it now, like
you know,
this is it.
It's gone.
Yeah.
This is like
this is my life.
Your life is changed forever.
Yeah, like
you have to accept it and kind of like at the end of the day you got to plan your kind of next steps now. Like once it's happened, you're like, okay, well this has happened and I was gonna do this, but maybe I'll have to change. So for you, once it happened, because you went for that job and interview down in Brighton. So did that change your plans? Change, I'm guessing, after it happened.
100%. So the plan was to go back down south to work back down there, but then obviously that happened, and I couldn't, like with my brother and sister and that as well. I was like, well, I can't just leave straight away. Like that's not fair, like on them. Especially because like I've been at uni for the past 3 years, so they've not really seen me much anyway. Only like during like the summer really, and even that was only for a couple months. And then it would be like a couple weeks at Christmas, and that'll be it for like the past for the last 3 years. That would be it basically. Like 2.5 months, 3 months out of the year. That's all they'd see me for. And I was like, well, I can't just go back down there straight away, like especially after this has happened. I was like, 'cause that's just not fair on them. It's like, even though like my sister's like an adult and that now, like she's still only 18. Because I remember what we were like when we were 18.
Yeah, like at 18 we're not adults.
Yeah,
even at 22 now, I don't feel like an adult.
Like you're like, even though in the eyes of the law you're an adult at 18. You're still a child.
Baby.
You're still a child. And like my brother's like 14. Like, no, he's autistic as well. Like, and like got ADHD, and like it just wouldn't be fair for me to just leave them.
No, especially in obviously the circumstances and in the hardest time of your life.
Oh yeah,
possibly ever too.
Oh yeah, but like the plan is to like eventually like go back down there when things have like settled down. I've got like a bit more like money in the bank and stuff like that. Everything's a bit more stable. Like the plan is to like go back either down there or somewhere else to like work.
Yeah. I can imagine you want to get away from this area, especially considering what's happened. If you're not had the best to look around here. And
like having experienced what it's like away from home and stuff as well, it's just making me want like you just feel a bit like cooped up.
Yeah, I feel that a lot too.
Yeah, like even though you're an adult and you have your independence,
Yeah.
you're still at home.
Yeah.
So some like you do and you don't in some ways. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big difference between like living at home, especially, and even if you lived away, but you still kind of live in the same area, then it's not. I don't know. It's not really the same. Nothing really changes except you're in a different house.
Yeah, because you're still like close to like your family and stuff.
Everything's
like,
still quite comfortable.
It's the same environment. Yeah. Like you're still in the same environment. Like it's the same like shops, places to eat.
Everything.
Yeah, everything's still the same. The only thing that's changed is obviously, like where you're living.
Yeah, and like, you do have more responsibility, but at the same time, I think it would help a lot of people to have some discomfort and have like some weight on their shoulders to kind of like
a bit of pressure.
Put pressure on themselves and try something new. Yeah,
make yourself feel uncomfortable.
I think that's how you grow.
Oh yeah. It's like when I went to like from uni, like from when I started uni to like now, I definitely feel like I grew up a lot. Like especially, like when I was living in the house, like not like in the accommodation, like living in the house with other people, like learning like each other's boundaries and just things like that, like learning to like get on with other people, like whoever you're living with. It definitely matures you, and like because you're bound to have arguments with people all the time. Like we had arguments like all the time, and it would always come down to stuff like whose turn is it to take the bins out? Like it's like your turn to like clean the kitchen and shit like that.
It's just like, standard between people.
Yeah, it's just
especially young people.
Yeah, and you definitely you learn like I've always been someone I've not let things get to me, like especially maybe when I was younger. Yeah, I feel like everyone takes things a bit personal when you're younger.
Yeah, of course, it's hard.
But as I've got older,
even now.
Yeah, like as I've got older, like you learn to like not take things so personally. Like you just like it's like water off a duck's back. Like oh, you called me a knob, alright.
Okay.
I don't care. Yeah. I've been called worse.
Yeah, exactly. It's just life. You get that. You get people that aren't gonna be your type of people and just say stuff for attention and whatnot. But obviously now everything is like. Do you feel like things are starting to die down and you can kind of move on a bit now, or is it still
100%. So
fresh?
At the start of the year, there was an inquest opened into it, just like because like failings from like the crisis team and the doctors and everything who were still prescribing her like these like pain medications and like these antidepressants and insomnia tablets, even though they knew she was addicted to prescription like painkillers and stuff. Like, and like there was like when she attempted in 2020, like there was basically like no follow up from it really at all. So there was an inquest opened into it, and that closed. What date are we on now? 15th. I'd say that closed. That finished about 3 weeks ago. I want to say, about 3 weeks ago. Saying that like there was failings from like the doctors and like the mental health team and all that. But that was like the last thing, like to do with it. Like that's it now. Like there's nothing else to do with it. Yeah.
Case closed.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
You could say.
Essentially, yeah, it's case closed. Like, so definitely feel like that's like done now. Like, there's nothing else to do with it. So there's like, yeah.
So yeah, it's a very interesting story for you to have to, and obviously more just difficult for you to go through that at your age, and kind of how it happened is very, very challenging, and obviously for your younger siblings too. I can imagine it even more difficult for them.
Yeah.
But I hope this has kind of been very eye-opening for a lot of people, and maybe has helped them somewhat to kind of deal with their struggles. Maybe if you had one piece of advice for someone in your situation, or like trying to come to terms with losing someone, what would you say?
Try and I'd say there's like a few, like probably like 2 or 3 things really. Like the main takeaways that I've gotten from it is always try and think of the good times and the bad. As hard as it is, you're always going to think about the bad times. Like naturally, you just are. But always try and think about, maybe it's like a holiday you went on, like when you was younger, like something as stupid as that, or just like a time you went on holiday or something like that. I'd say another one, definitely just try and look after yourself. Don't bury your head in the sand and think that it'll just go away. Like whatever, like however you're feeling, try and like think about it. Don't just bury your head. Like do what I did for like the first couple months. Bury your head in the sand and just like try and distract yourself as much as possible, because it will. It's all right for like, it's all right till a certain point, having a distraction there. Like I'm not saying that's bad at all. Like it's good to have a distraction, but it comes to a certain point where you will just get burnt out, both mentally and physically, because it does take a toll physically as well. Like I was just like tired all the time, like, and do think about it. As horrible as it is, and as much as you might not want to think about like the grief, like no matter how someone's died, whether it's my situation or it's just natural causes, like think about it, because it will help. Because it will help you come to terms with how you are feeling. You won't be as conflicted, and you will be able to move on a lot better, I feel like. And another one is some of that we touched on before, is just like, you're not promised tomorrow.
Very important to consider.
Yeah, you're not promised tomorrow. There's no guarantee you're going to wake up tomorrow. That's like something I've really started thinking about a lot recently. And it's like, whatever you want to do, just do it. And it's like, you want to buy this, buy it. Why not? Like
you say, you don't know what is
it's
around
like,
the corner.
Yeah, it's like, you want to buy this like pair of trainers or whatever. If you can afford it, do it. What's stopping you? Like I said, like you're not promised to like tomorrow. And also I feel like trying to say yes to as many things as you can. So I'd say if like someone says, do you want to come for a drink tonight, or do you want to come watch football later? Like, unless like you've got like a proper like reason, or like I can't, I'm at work or whatever, that's fair enough. You can't really say yes like that. But I mean, like, if you're not doing anything, and like, especially if you're feeling a bit shit, like, and someone says, do you want to go do something, say yeah.
Yeah, because in those moments,
like
that's crucial.
Yeah, so like, and just being out the house, like you're not sat there feeling a bit
around,
thinking
basically about the past and how things could have been different.
Yeah, like go see a mate.
Reality.
Go see a mate.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to talk about anything. You can just talk.
Being in someone's company can make a massive difference.
100%. Like you don't even like me and you half the time don't say a word to each other. We're just sat there on our phones.
Yeah. And I think some people don't like that.
And then like every 10 minutes one of us would go, you seen this?
Some people might not like that interaction and how to spend time with people like that, but I think obviously
if you're comfortable around that person,
once you get to that level and you're like, you don't need to force conversation. And for me, I'm always someone that's like, I don't like to just say things just for the sake of it, which a lot of people do just to fill gaps and awkward.
Because people don't like awkward times.
Exactly. So,
which is fair enough. Like in some situations, like you can try and like get rid of that awkward silence. But if you're just with your mate,
you shouldn't
like,
need to.
You don't need to force
No.
a conversation
No,
because it doesn't matter.
no.
It's like, yeah, like half the time me and you were just sat on our phones, like,
It's just so, yeah.
or like
In a
watching,
world.
or just watching something. We won't sit like if we're watching football, there's a good chat. Like we might not say anything for like a whole half.
Yeah.
Like, a whole 45 minutes. Not one of us might say a word. Like you might get the occasional. Oh, that was close.
It was, yeah.
Challenge.
But yeah, I think there's some very good takeaways from your personal experience, and like I said, I really hope they can help you if you're going through a similar situation, or maybe share this video to someone if you know they're dealing with grief or maybe coming to terms with something similar.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for coming
Cheers,
on
mate.
the channel.
Pleasure
It's
as
great
always.
to sit down and talk to you about this, because it's a very important issue,
Yeah.
which probably not spoken about enough between a lot of people. And I know it's very difficult for you to open up, and anyone else dealing with a similar type of circumstances to actually open up how they feel and to try and help other people is a really admirable thing to you. So I really appreciate you
It's
coming.
alright, mate.
So yeah, hope you
Anytime.
guys enjoyed and took a lot out of this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.